Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a look at a pretty specific set of source material. It's all about one single app.
That's right. What we've got here are descriptions, some details, listing info. It all points to an application called Space Shuttle, the Golden Age.
Okay. And for this deep dive, our mission really using just these sources is to unpack what this app is.
Yeah.
What's it offering? What's the experience like?
Yeah.
What do these details tell us? We're basically here to guide you through this pile of info.
Yeah, and straight away you get this feeling of history and maybe nostalgia for some people. It seems very focused on visuals and, well, information about that specific time in spaceflight.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in. The core idea. I mean, why does this app even exist based on what we're seeing here? What's its basic purpose?
Well, the sources frame it pretty clearly. It's about providing resources,
Hmm.
specifically about the Space Shuttle missions. It seems aimed at anyone wanting to connect with that history.
And there's an emotional angle right from the start, isn't there? The sources actually call the shuttle a magnificent machine that is sadly missed by many. That phrase,
Hmm.
it really sets a tone.
It definitely does. It's not just like dry facts, it's tapping into that shared memory, that feeling about the program's peak, which the app calls the Golden Age. Right there in the title.
Okay, so provide resources
Hmm.
on this magnificent missed machine from its golden age. What kind of resources are we talking about? What's actually in the app?
The sources are quite specific here. The main things are images, videos, and information. Those three.
And they mention quantity too, right? It's not just a handful.
Oh, no, not at all. They say hundreds of photos. One source actually pins it down, over 600 images,
Wow.
and then many videos, which another source clarifies is over 100 videos, plus the promise of just lots of information about the missions themselves.
Over 600 photos, over 100 videos. It's pretty substantial. And the descriptions of these visuals use some strong words.
They really do. You see things like amazing images, impressive photos, fascinating images, and beautiful photos. It's clear the visual quality is meant to be a big draw.
So you've got this big library, looks like high quality stuff, plus information. How do you actually, explore it all? What are the features, the sections?
Okay, so the sources break down a few ways to navigate. First, there's a browse section,
What else? Okay.
and this lets you apparently quickly flick through photos, but also, importantly, read detailed information about them right there as you're browsing.
Right, so browses for sort of quick looks and getting info on the spot. What if you want something more immersive, visually?
Well, that seems to be the job of the slideshow section. This feature is all about viewing those hundreds of impressive photos, but full screen.
Full screen.
Yeah, and the sources say the goal is to make you feel, and this is a direct quote, as if you were in the Earth's orbit at that moment.
Wow, okay. That's a specific vibe they're going for, bringing you into it, and while you're virtually floating up there.
You can still get the details. There's an info button for the photo you're on, and also a play button if you just want it to cycle through automatically.
Got it. So browse for quick info, slideshow for that immersive, maybe passive orbit feel. Then there's a gallery section mentioned too. How's that different?
The gallery. It sounds like the place to see everything. All the photos, again, in an impressive full-screen layout. But a key thing here is the ability to zoom in with the help of your fingers.
Ah, pinch to zoom.
Exactly, for getting a really close look at the details in those images.
Okay, so zooming is key for the gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Browse, slideshow, gallery. That seems to cover the photos and the info tied to them. What are the videos? You said over 100 videos.
Yep, there's a dedicated video section. Simple as that. It's for users who, as the sources put it, do not want to be contented with just beautiful photos. Basically for seeing the missions in action.
Straightforward. And the underlying theme across all these ways of looking at photos especially,
The promise seems consistent. You'll obtain detailed information while navigating through the beautiful photos. The learning part is meant to be woven right into looking at the pictures.
so if you pull all that together, the content, the different ways to view it, what's the overall feeling or experience the sources suggest the app delivers?
Well, they use phrases like a nice user experience kind of standard, but the more evocative descriptions emphasize that feeling of being transported, like as if you were in there at that moment or getting that in the Earth's orbit sensation.
That link between getting information and feeling immersed,
Yeah.
that seems really central here, doesn't it? It's not just a reference tool, it's trying to evoke something.
Exactly. Using those hopefully high quality visuals to both teach you something and create a kind of emotional connection, a resonance with the user.
Okay, let's switch gears just a bit, because the source material also has those practical App Store listing type details, which gives us a different picture. Let's run through those. First up, price.
Listed at $0.99, 99 cents.
Okay, and there's a rating mention.
Yes. It shows 2.5 out of 5 stars. But, and this is important, it's based on only 2
Right,
ratings.
very small sample size. That's key context. What about the age rating?
This one caught my eye. It's rated 17 plus psi.
That does seem kind of high for a space shuttle app, doesn't it?
We're just reporting what the listing says, though.
Agreed. Seems unusual.
Mm.
Next, the app size.
How big is it?
It's listed as 1.3 gigabytes, which is pretty hefty.
Yeah, but that makes sense, I suppose, if it really has 600 plus high-res photos and 100 plus videos packed in there.
True, that content needs space.
So where can you actually use this thing? Compatibility.
Okay, it needs iOS 16.6 or later for iPhone. For iPad, iPadOS 16.6 or later.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it on a Mac, it needs macOS 13.5 or later, and specifically a Mac with an Apple M1 chip or newer.
Ah, the M1 chip requirement.
Yeah, and it's also listed as compatible with Apple Vision, needing visionOS 1.0 or later. Oh, and the listing specifically says it's designed for iPad. Okay, so fairly wide reach across the newer Apple ecosystem, but with some specific silicon and OS minimums. Language is just English.
English only.
And do we know when it was last updated? Anything recent?
The sources mention version 1.1, updated on December 4th, 2024. The update notes just say bug fixes and improvements.
Right. Now, here's something that really jumps out from app listings these days. Privacy. What do the sources say?
Yeah, this is quite notable. The developer, under the privacy section, explicitly states that they does not collect any data from this app.
Okay, data not collected. That's a pretty clear statement. Useful for potential users to know. Does it support family sharing?
It does, yes. Up to 6 family members can use it if they have family sharing set up.
And who actually made this app? The developer.
The developer is listed as Alparslan Topbus. The company name seems to be Topper Solutions.
Alparslan Topbus. Topar Solutions. And do we get any sense from the sources about what else this developer does? Is there a pattern?
Yes, actually. They list several other apps by the same developer. Let's see. Hubble. Deep Space. Education Park Safe Now. That one sounds different. Hubble. Deep Space 2. Exam Timer. Effortless. Easy. Saturn. Cassini and Mars. Curiosity.
Okay, yeah. Education Park Safe Now and Exam Timer aside, there's a very clear thread there, isn't there? Space, science.
Absolutely. A strong focus on space exploration, Hubble, Saturn, Mars, and maybe education more broadly. It suggests a consistent interest in making these kinds of informational, probably visual, apps about science topics.
Right. So let's try and wrap this up then. Based purely on this set of sources we've explored, Space Shuttle, the Golden Age, presents itself as this visually rich, kind of immersive resource.
Yeah, for anyone interested in the shuttle missions, especially if they have that feeling of it being a magnificent machine that is sadly missed.
It seems to try and blend learning, lots of information, getting detailed information with a specific feeling like you're in Earth's orbit.
And it uses that big library, 600 plus photos, 100 plus videos, navigated through those browse, slideshow, gallery, and video sections.
Then you have the practical side. 99 cents, runs on recent Apple gear but needs 1.3 gigs, has that curious 17-plus rating.
And importantly, that no data collected privacy statement from the developer, who seems to specialize in science and space apps.
So it's really an attempt to capture a piece of technological history, and maybe the feeling around it, in a digital package that's heavy on the visuals.
Exactly, putting that era, that golden age, onto your device.
Which brings us to a final thought, just pulling from the language used in these sources. If the shuttle is sadly missed, and this app tries to make you feel as if you were in the Earth's orbit at that moment, what does that really mean, to revisit a past golden age through a digital gallery designed for that kind of immersion? How do apps like this maybe shape how we remember and connect with these big moments in technology and history? Something to think about.